Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing 3 looks using the Sultry palette from Anastasia. This is their newest palette release for the 2018 holiday season. As far as I know, this is a limited edition palette. So when I first saw this palette, I was originally a little bit thrown off by this bloom shade. I was very excited for the palette in general because this is the first really cool toned eyeshadow palette that I've seen released in a long time, and I didn't have a lot of cool tone palettes or cool tone shades in my collection, and I was eager to pick up one in a formula that I really enjoyed. But like I said, I was very thrown off by this bloom shade, and I was really confused about how I was going to be able to incorporate that into my makeup looks. So after getting this palette and playing with it a little bit, I decided that I wanted to create a video using Bloom in several different eyeshadow looks, so that if any of you have this palette and you are confused about how you can incorporate Bloom in your looks, stay tuned. You can see that in my eyeshadow looks because I will be using that shade in all 3 of them. Alright, without further ado, let's get into this. Alright, so to start with, I'm going to be priming my eyes with Urban Decay's Primer Potion in the shade Eden. So you can see I'm just patting that in there and working it up all the way up towards my brow bone to kind of get rid of the discoloration in some of those lines. Just cleaning up the edges. And so now we're going to go ahead and go into Sultry. I'm going to use the shade Fresh, and I'm just going to use that to set the eyeshadow primer underneath. Alright, so the first shade we're going to go into is Bloom, and we're going to work that into the crease and kind of just blend that out in light circular motions, trying to keep it out towards the edge, in the most color out towards the edge of the eye, but still working it slightly into the inner part as well. And bringing that up quite high as well because we're going to be working some other colors into the crease. So as you can see, I'm also using the end of the brush to kind of work that in. So now that we're going into Slate, we're going to go ahead and bring that down and more into the real part of the crease. Still want to give that shade Bloom some pigment up top so that pops, but we're going to kind of deepen this up. Once again, just using circular motions with the brush and working that and blending that into Bloom. Okay, so now we are going to go into Noir, and we're going to pack that on the outer part of the lid. We're going to kind of blend that into the slate shade on the crease to kind of give it a seamless look, but we don't really want to bring that up into the crease. Kind of bring that out a little bit to give it a little bit of a wing effect. I'm just using a fluffy brush to blend that out. I'm just using windshield wiper motions right there to just kind of create that seamless effect without bringing Noir up into the crease. Now we're going to cut the crease, or cut the crease with concealer. Now we're going into Cyborg. I'm just going to pack that on the lid with my finger. Sorry that that's kind of out of focus and you can't, or out of frame, and you can't really see me doing that very well. We're going to do the same to the other eye, and hopefully that will show up where you can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of bringing that in and blending that into the shade Noir. Okay, so I added some liner, did my makeup, so now we're going to do the bottom lash line, and we're going to take Slate and just pop that underneath the lashes and just kind of blend that out. And then we're going to take Cyborg and Pearl and kind of mix those together and highlight the inner corner with that. Okay, and as you see, this is the look that I came up with. So let's go ahead and continue on to the next one. Okay, so for look 2, I ended up using some tape to keep the edges clean. So as you can see, I'm just applying it to the corners of my eyes and just trying to keep a even side wing, kind of just lining it up with where my eyebrows, not quite where my eyebrows end, but okay. So for the first shade of this look, I'm going into Bloom. And I'm just going to take a fluffy brush here and dip it in and just kind of take it on the outer edge of my eye up against the tape and kind of blend it into my eye, just kind of creating a gradient effect there. And I'm going in very lightly with color, and I'll build up that color as I go. I kind of dusted off my brush at the beginning. This one I went in a little bit harder, but these shadows seem to blend pretty easy, so it's not that big of a deal if you forget to tap off your brush. I'm not taking the shadow too high up. I still want to leave some room between the Bloom shade and my brow bone. So I'm just bringing that in, as you can see, and just kind of building up the color and on the edges and just lightly blending it inward. Okay, so now I've just about gotten the amount of pigment that I want from Bloom on the outer corner. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Birch now. I'm going to take that once again on my fluffy brush, and I'm going to keep that lower on the outer edge and blend that upwards into Bloom. I don't want to bring it up too high because I still want Bloom to kind of pop, but just kind of deepening up that outer edge. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and go into Dystopian, and I'm going to take a more flat fluffy brush and run that along the corner in a kind of a V shape area, and I'm just going to kind of blend that in, but I'm going to keep that much lower on my lid, on my outer part of my lid. Okay. So next I'm going to take some concealer. This is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. I'm going to take that on one of my Wet n Wild flat concealer brushes and kind of just brighten up the inner part of the eye and get rid of some of the shadow that's been dusted on there through my blending, because I want to be able to get the shade that I'm going to put on there to kind of pop. I'm bringing that concealer up a lot higher, not just on my lid. I'm not doing a cut crease, but bringing that up much higher than my crease. Okay, and so next I'm going to take rose quartz, and I'm just going to use my finger there, and I'm just going to pack that onto the lid. And I'm once again, just like the concealer, I'm going to keep that kind of even up higher onto the crease and just blend that into Bloom and the other shades that I have on my crease.
Okay, and then I'm going to take Cyborg, and I'm just going to pat that on the lower part of my lid in the middle and just kind of highlight the middle part of my eye. So for liner, I decided to go for a brown liner. This is the NYX Epic Ink Liner in the newest shade that they came out with, the brown shade. I'm just going to go ahead and create a wing up along the tape. Um, okay, so I put on some concealer and set my under eye area, so now it's time to do that. I'm going to take the shade Bloom and I'm just going to run that along the bottom lash line. Okay, then I'm going to take Dystopian and I'm going to put that on the lower lash line as well, but I'm going to keep that closer to the wing and closer to the lash line itself. Okay, and then finally I'm going to use Pearl to highlight the inner corner of my eye. Okay, so this is the completed second look. Let's go ahead and move on to the third. Okay, so for this look, the first shade I'm going into is Slate, that beautiful gray. I'm going to take that on a fluffy brush and put that on the outer crease area and build it upwards. Okay, so once I have Slate built up to the depth that I want, I'm going to go ahead and take Noir. And I'm going to take Noir on a more pointed brush that I can kind of get a precise spot on. And I'm going to take that on the outer corner and I'm going to keep that kind of low. I don't want to bring it up too high. I will eventually blend that up into Slate, but I don't want to bring it too high, like I said. Once I have Noir blended how I like it, I'm going to take the shade Ember and I'm going to take it with my finger and I'm going to pack that on the lid and kind of upwards on the lid as well, kind of like how I did with the second look in this video. For the liner of this look, I'm going to just use a black pencil liner. This is the Maybelline Lasting Drama black liner, if you're wondering. Okay, so I've done the rest of my facial makeup, so now it's time to go into the under eye. So I'm going to take the shade Bloom and I'm going to run that all the way down the lower lash line, and I'm going to actually bring that pretty far down because I want that to pop. For the inner corner highlight, I originally just wanted to take Cyborg and pop that on the inner corner, but I ended up deciding that that was a little bit too cool toned for the look that I was going to, because Ember is a little bit more warmer as well. So I went ahead and took the shade Steampunk and popped that on top of Cyborg and kind of warmed it up a little bit. Okay, and here's the final completed look that I got with the Sultry palette.
Alright, so that is it. Those are my 3 looks using the Sultry palette, including the Bloom shade. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this inspired you to get some use out of your Sultry palette and maybe step outside your comfort zone. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for future videos. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Bye!